Okay, welcome back. I told you when we started the show that we'll be talking so much about governance and the reforms and policies of the present-day administration. And Nigeria as a nation is dynamic, having our own challenges, from economic reforms to security concerns amidst others. But the question remains, are these policies translating in progress for the everyday Nigerian? Or is there a widening gap between governance and lived reality? In recent years, reforms have been described as bold, necessary, even overdue. Some argue they are designed to stabilize the economy and position Nigeria for long-term growth. Yet, for millions of citizens in Nigeria, the immediate impact hasn't really been felt. So, we all ask, how do policies become people-centered? So we will be having the discussion this morning. I will not unveil our guest yet, but just wait and watch what his profile frame looks like. All right, the discussion is all about Nigeria at a crossroad between policies and the people. And I guess, as you've seen on the profile frame, is a lawyer who is also a PR and HR practitioner. He is Jide Ologun. Good morning, sir.
Thank you very much. My pleasure to be with you.
Thank you for being our guest this morning.
My pleasure.
I'm sure you were listening to the chairman, say something about what you heard.
I quite admire his accessibility, and that is something critical in leadership. The people you lead must have access to you, so that you both engage the issues in the community and see how you can resolve them. He did not only project his achievements so far, he also presented his challenges, and he's so factual about them all. And with the mantra of Yaba I was commending him. Yaba is a place of aesthetic value. I love the horticulture, the environment, and we wish him the best and the wisdom of God, particularly to handle those challenges, because government is a continuum.
It's a continuum, yes.
And we pray that his own legacy will be on the golden side of history.
Yeah.
So,
Okay. Now, taking it from the grassroots to the national level, we're looking at the reforms, the tax reforms, the subsidy, the educational funds. You know, there's so many. There's just so many there that the president he has put out there. Now, from your perspective, would you say that the current reforms are economically sound? But okay, let me put it this way: to the layman out there, the reform seems to be economically sound, but socially misaligned. What do you think? Do you think they are balanced, or do you think the layman out there is correct?
Thank you very much. You see, it's what we call perception in public relations. But I've monitored the government of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and I want to lay a foundation. I recall in January 2022, when he went to Aso Villa and told the then president, Muhammadu Buhari, that I'm stepping into your shoes. And before then, I recall there was a time he also went to the Aso Villa to tell the president that, people are hungry, people are suffering. And I think from that springboard, many may be wondering, so what's happening now? Now, let's come to the reform aspect. Undeniably so, Nigeria was in a very critical socio-economic condition when the president took over. And as a man of courage, he made a statement on the day of assuming office that fuel subsidy was gone. And by virtue of Section 5 of the Nigerian Constitution 1999 as amended, that vests executive powers in him, he made that statement, and the statement stood. And interestingly also, I was expecting to now see the benefits of the subsidy. And I monitored keenly until I discovered this money was being channeled to governors. Okay. Then later to local government authorities. And then,
the chain.
Yes, and I also still monitored the president, and I realized he also spoke to the governors that now we give you more money. Take care of the people. And I think that is the gap we really need to work on in Nigeria. The good intentions of the national administration must be followed through as a project to ensure the manifestation at the sub-nations level.
Yeah.
You see, and that, I believe, is the gap. But again, I thought to myself that perhaps Jagaban is focusing on 2027 re-election and has, as a veteran politician that he is, sat down at the table to look at how to manage the political structure. And he has discovered that, hey, I need these governors, I need these political leaders, so let me galvanize towards them for now, so that, and that has manifested in some benefits for him. For instance, out of the 36 states in Nigeria, as we speak now, 30 governors are in APC. You see, defecting and things like that. And if you now add the federal minister of the Federal Capital Territory, that makes 31.
That seems to be neither here nor there.
Yes, no, he's we know where he is. You see, so perhaps he's now approaching it from the political angle.
That's where I'm going. I apologize for interrupting you. Now, would you not say that the present-day administration is playing politics with the people's welfare?
You cannot exonerate politics from the people. I have taken time to study Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. In fact, right from the moment he made Wike a member of PDP, Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, I knew he was heading somewhere. And now, let's come to the people. We practice democracy. In Greece, if you go to the Greek origin, there are two words there. Demos, that talks about people. Then kratis, that talks about authority. And if you look at Section 14, subsection 2 of the Nigerian Constitution 1999 as amended, it states clearly that sovereignty belongs to the people from whom a government derive power and authority. So, and if you proceed to within the same subsection 2, it says that the security and the welfare of the citizens shall be the primary purpose of government. So the next question now is that, is this government focusing on the primary purpose? I think there's a struggle there. There's a struggle there, because I commend all the reforms, fuel subsidy gone, the tax reform, thank God for the students' loan, thank God for those credit support and everything. But the impact is yet to be felt.
On the ordinary citizens.
Exactly. Talking about the majority of the citizens. And in Section 16 of the Nigerian Constitution 1999 as amended, the economic trust of the Constitution is that our economy should be managed in a way that we have a self-reliant economy, an economy that is dynamic, an economy that does not concentrate wealth in the hands of a few, an economy that provides maximum happiness and maximum welfare for all citizens. And it proceeds in subsection 2 to talk about affordable food, available and affordable housing, unemployment benefits, care for the old, for the disabled.
So would you now
the
say
reasonable living minimum wage for all citizens? So I doubt if that is the driving force of governance. And I'm speaking as someone who relates with both sides, the governing side and the government. Because even when we have the headline inflation decreasing, the market space inflation is not.
So would you now say, because a lot of people say that, also I hear that on the street a lot, that the government did not adequately prepare the citizens for these reforms?
It's not a matter of preparing the citizens for the reform. It's a matter of prioritization. I spoke about project management earlier. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu definitely must have a good intention by saying, okay, governors, I'm giving you more money.
Okay.
Local government authorities, I'm giving you more money. Take care of the people. He is in Abuja. He is even kind enough to release that money. Previously, that money filters into the bank accounts of the enemies of the state. So we are now advising that, Mr. President, look out of the window. And he has not denied the fact that the real impact is not felt by the majority of the citizens.
Okay. So you would say he feels the impulse of the people?
Absolutely. So what some of us feel is that perhaps maybe when he gets the second time, then he will now just politely let the elite know, oh, I've taken good care of you, let me now focus on the people. Because it's all about image, it's all about reputation. But again, there is a demand on accountability. Those who get this money, and they are not denying it, they also have the responsibility to take care of the citizens within their sub-nations. I was reading this morning that some governors are saying they are helpless, the insecurity situation and everything. Look at what Ondo State is doing, for example. Look at what Governor Akeredolu started before he passed on, the Amoteco. We were discussing this issue of Nnamdi Kanu and what Igwe Lawrence said about Igboho. And I said, I respect the Southwesterners. In year 2024, when some rose up and said they were Odua Nation agitators, the leaders in the Southwest rose up.
Yes.
Governors, ministers, National Assembly members, traditional, that no, we resist you. We cannot allow you. You may have a good intention, but you are approaching it in a wrong manner. And they were able to quell those things. So if we have found that across the country, that states take responsibility for the welfare of the citizens and all this, it would be a fantastic move. But having said all this, with the presidential system we have in the country, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu my president and commander-in-chief of the armed forces takes responsibility.
Okay, so
particularly when the resources of the country are on the exclusive legislative list. So Ondo State, for instance, and some neighboring states that are custodians to the second largest deposit of bitumen in the world, they cannot access that bitumen. So we are still calling for the government, if possible before 2027, because right now it's about politics, that the people can begin to feel the pulse of these fantastic reforms that have, to an extent, stabilized our economy. It should be wonderful.
So because of our time, now you talked about we are looking at 2027 in the offing, and would you say that there's a widening trust gap between the government and the governed? How would you put the trust gap between the government and the governed?
The Nigerian case is not a matter of trust gap.
So what?
The electoral processes have been redesigned in a way that trust has little impact. Those who will influence electoral victories, they've perfected their game. So it's now just like an appeal. You see, like an appeal. And I'm suggesting also, going forward, as a national development advocate, that Nigeria should study the template of Norway. Norway created a sovereign wealth fund that is about the largest in the whole world now. And that they've done with their oil and gas resource. That right now, the billions of dollars that Norway has untouched is amazing, because that fund was invested. So an average citizen of Norway, you see, is worth hundreds of thousands of dollars as an individual. Okay. And they have all agreed that that money will not be wasted, will not be spent wrongly. And I think we need to come to that level in Nigeria where commonwealth is created for common good.
Okay, because we have to go, but quickly I want you to just outline, some risk. Initially, these reforms, Nigerians maybe lack of understanding or probably communication and all of that. But I think Nigerians are beginning to accept, some of those reforms. Most especially the tax reforms. There were a lot of back and forth, but I think the average Nigerian understands that it is people friendly. Now, what risk, political, socially, or economic, risk could derail the reform agenda? Quickly.
The reform is beautiful,
yes,
theoretically,
yes,
but at the practical level, and I'm driving in now at the state and local level. What about the non-state actors and their taxes? For instance, in Lagos, how much do the the Keke Marwa people pay regularly to non-state actors, the Korokwe bosses, the transporters, those who bring food to Lagos? You need to look at that. So even when we are saying that those who earn minimum wage will not pay tax, it's theoretical. On a daily basis, citizens pay taxes. Even those who the tax reform seeks to exonerate, they pay. For instance, a place where I used to do some shopping, we used to park for 500. It's been lifted to 700. So go around now, they will tell you tax, even those who are not paying the tax. So we need to monitor these things to the macro space level to ensure that some players do not take disadvantage, I won't say advantage, of those loopholes, because eventually we need that sense of patriotism. And if the majority of the citizens are complaining that they are not feeling the positive impact of the reforms, I think it should be a matter of concern. And that's why I appreciate my president for giving NIPR great recognition. They can help in the public relations approach to governance, and before we know it, but I can see a new dawn if diligently pursued. And I pray for my president that his own tenure will be recognized as having delivered on the renewed hope agenda. And my advice is that hope has how many letters? HOPE, 4. The H for help. Help the citizens to prosper. The O for opportunities. Bring that opportunities to the citizens. The P for power. Empower them to prosper in their land. And the E for elevation.
Wow.
Let the story become a glorious one.
I like that. Hope. I am sure that the stakeholders are listening, and I like the way you have just analyzed the HOPE. Honestly, our time is fast spent. A big thank you to our guest. He is a lawyer and a PR and HR practitioner, is Jide Ologun, and the discussion has been Nigeria at a crossroad between policies and the people. Thank you very much.
Thank God. God bless Nigeria.
Okay, I'm going to want to pipe it a bit slow now. We'll go on a short break. Our next guest will be in a bit.